actually did.
Oh, Kisee! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LCO delivered by Menulog. It is time once again for Menulog Mealtime, where you at home can type MENUPOG in the chat and win yourself a $30 Menulog voucher to get yourself a cheeky little dinner tonight, lunch tomorrow, dessert maybe. Look, it's getting on into the later hours of the evening as well. I don't wear watches, but I will still check my freckle pasta hair every day of the week. Anyway, I have a question for everyone while everyone types MENUPOG in the chat. Yesterday was National or International Peanut Butter Cookie Day. Okay. So I want to ask you guys, what is your favorite kind of cookie? Kitty, you're up first.
I like double chocolate chip cookies because they're so sweet and I love them. But it's also like a little sin eating those ones.
I feel like any, baked goods are usually feeling pretty sinful when you're devouring them. What about you, Skimmy? What's your favorite cookie?
I'm actually at a bit of a crossroad here. Maybe Jack can decide for me. It's either white chocolate macadamias. Those are pretty up there, pretty elite. They definitely are a little bit S tier if we're making a tier list. And Anzac biscuits, actually.
A little bit off meta. That's a good one.
But they certainly do the business.
So I think Anzac biscuits are good sometimes, where I think white choc chip macadamia is just always good. So that's like that was my answer as well. I think they're bangers. So
that's why
I guess it depends on where you get them from. I'm sure we could find some white choc macadamia cookies that aren't good, but I'd hate whoever would make those. So hopefully they continue to be as dope as the ones you get from maybe Subway or something. They're the ones I'm thinking of.
Like if you try and integrate protein, but those people who try and integrate protein just fails. It just doesn't taste good.
Yeah, it's all over the damn place. Anyway, my favorite one. Now you've mentioned Anzacs. I'm going to go with Anzacs because
they're pretty good.
A very good Anzac is a very good Anzac. I'm just going to put that one. Or ginger nut. They're pretty good too.
Does an Oreo count?
Yeah, I guess so. It's not handheld.
We're just
handheld, handmade is what I meant to say. Anyway, if you won the $30, I hope you enjoy your bloody meal here. But that's it for Menulog Mealtime. We've got to start talking about these teams. Let's talk about Pentanet first. So, Skimmy, I need you to tell me how good this team is right now and what they're going to do to beat Order today.
Yeah, really strong start for the boys, right? They kicked it out of the park here with some very similar picks, right? Graves both times for BalKhan. Praedyth and Rogue really showcasing that Lucian Nami is their flavor. Praedyth saying, look, Rogue's put a lot of work into playing these Enchaners, and he looked insane on them. So huge kudos to him. But the boys, for the most part, have shown up really well. I think in terms of their week one, not the strongest opponents. This week, however, a much bigger ask. If we're talking about form checks, this would be the form check.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way. Last week, they looked pretty good. But yeah, Order, it may just be a whole different ballgame. Kitty, if you could see PGG taking this today, who are we going to be looking at to do the carry?
My eyes have always been on Yuri for these past. I think he's really stepped up as that young mechanical player where he plays the carry champions like the Vladimir and the LeBlanc, where he is able to get into that late game and have a huge impact in these team fights.
I did see Yuri. There's a video going around on Twitter. Someone posted of him as well. It was pretty interesting video. So hopefully he plays well today. I think he had a bit of a rough time with something the other day. Anyway, that was Tally doing him dirty. Now we do have Order to talk about as well. Rusty, what can Order provide to us today, and who are we going to be putting our eyes on? Is it still Goodo?
I mean, it kind of has to be. I feel like you naturally want to put your eyes on Kisee, Puma, see what they can provide. Also BioPanther, when you saw some of his performances at MSI, you have high hopes for him coming back, especially with more carries in the top lane meta. So there's a possibility that we see some big performances from perhaps another KO player.
Yeah.
But in reality, we are going to be looking at Goodo, the newest addition, the most flexible person you would have to say coming into the team. Because the last time we saw them play, I believe I even said this last week during the game, it was a jungle gap. It was quite simply a Lissandra and a Nocturne picking them apart piece by piece. And anytime you looked mid, he was doing the best that he could, Kisee, but he was constantly pressured by two people. So it was an unplayable game for the Zoe. And that is a big factor coming into this.
Super curious as well, actually, because if you look at last split as well, when he was on the Direwolves, every single time he went up against PGG's BalKhan, it was always a Lee Sin performance. All 3 games, Lee Sin. One game, I think he went like 0-7. The next game, I think he went like 7-1. The next game was like somewhere in the middle. So, like, BalKhan always played something different. I think it was like a Rek'Sai in that last game. I think he had Lee Sin, Hecarim, and Jarvan, Hecarim, and Rek'Sai. Yeah, so he's played a little bit different. I think there's a big question mark goes to, whether or not he can have that same sort of impact, right? Or if he is going to default to a Lee Sin. Perhaps some Diana. Because both of these mid laners, Kisee and Yuri, definitely like their Yasuo, so exciting.
That's very true, very true. Now, we're talking about junglers. We did get a chance at the start of the split to have a chat with Goodo about this new team, so let's see what he had to say. Goodo's going to be set back to the bleachers, but it's a dragon. Finally going to be found by Order. Oh, okay, Goodo. Okay. Kisee does have the movement speed as well to get away if he wants to. It's just going to be a kite battle flash across Goodo.
My name is Goodo. I used to play Direwolves, but now I play Order. I play for jungle. When I used to be a model, I thought like it would be very cool. Because like looking cool, looks fun. So I just entered and I just did it like 3 years, 4 years. When I changed my perspective to League, like fun to serious, it was like because of the COVID lockdown. Because when COVID lockdown came up, like I had so much time to spend at home. That time I used to play League morning to like dinner or something, midnight. I wish I could play more skillful player on League, because like if you spend like 12 hours in a day playing League, you're gonna win, right? I could see I was like climbing like over and over, and when I reached Challenger, I was like thinking it would be cool if I'm being professional, because that's just something I wanted, like half being pressure, half being excited. There's one word for the Direwolves, which is regret, because when I was in Direwolves, I don't want to be toxic, but like some of the players were inting. Obviously, I was inting as well, but I'm being worried. I'm inting the team because like they already made like MSI, so if they're not winning at split 2, it could be on me, or that's the kind of pressure I have. But it's pretty chill. My goal on split 2 is obviously win, and I want to play stadium game, and which is like grand final for the split 2. And after that, I wanna burst like some other like major region team or like minor region team. Yeah, like I just wanna like test my limit. Yeah. For me, when I think about jungle, I think partying is like very important. So when people gonna remember me, I just hope they remember me as like smart jungle player. Yeah. For the fan, like obviously thanks for supporting us. Like I'm very happy when people just support the player, which is like me and my team. And for the Order, thanks for having me.
Sorry, I was just doing my best blue steel. I didn't know Goodo was a model. Did you know?
I knew. Look at the man. He's model. He's still a model now.
He's pretty handsome, isn't he? Now, look, that's Goodo with some spicy words about his old team, but also, look, a proper outlook into this Order roster. Now, that was a little bit interesting as well. A good little bit of insight into where he's come from and what he wants to achieve. Obviously, eyes set on that grand final in this split, wanting to play on stage, wanting to play in front of a crowd, and I feel like that's a relatively solid goal, but we need to see more from Order right now, don't we?
Yeah, we do. It's also really funny in that interview. He's like, yeah, no, like a lot of pressure. I'm literally replacing someone who just went to MSI and a split-winning team. But it's chill. Like,
It's chill.
What's chill about it? You just said there's so much pressure. But it's chill.
Yeah, just
Model face on.
Big contrast between everything going on. Now, look, someone that loves to play under high-pressure environments and also cast and also be around us a lot and also just look handsome in general and then be also dapper. I don't know if you know what I'm getting at, but we have Rogue ready for the interview here. This man, look, I hope you enjoyed those compliments because you might need them. Are you going to take this W today?
First of all, I love your segues. Your segues are always incredible. You've never once thrown it to me without calling me handsome, so I appreciate you all, guys. But yeah, big dub. Big dub this week. We take down these 2 teams. It's pretty undeniable the fact we're the best team in the league for at least a little while until we come back around to versing them again. So we want that statement that split 2's different. Ready to go.
Very good.
Well, talking about being handsome, we do have Goodo on Order now. So what are your thoughts on this new Order that you guys are going against tonight?
I mean, I don't know if the handsome level of the team's gone up or down. It's kind of like an objective thing. So if you want my opinion, I guess definitely a big hit to the team to lose Kevy. I think that every team, when they looked at versing Order, they took Kevy as the star player and the preparation for him. So now maybe a little bit different, where you don't have this superstar on the team to play around, but the team still looks good. They still look good without Kevy. So we'll see.
Yeah, we shall see. Now, good to see Praedyth. He's increased the length of those shorts by a good 5 centimeters or so. But always good to see him, peering in the background, trying to have his say as well. Now, who are you most worried about from Order, and who are you sort of going to be putting? I wouldn't say put your focus on today, but who do you think is sort of their biggest threat now that Kevy's gone?
I think they all kind of step up. They all, even last split when Kevy was like the superstar, right? They were all extremely good players. So I think they all have that carry ability, but I really like their bot lane. Their bot lane and Dival's bot lane are bot lanes that I didn't think would be as good coming into the year as what they are. So they do have a little bit of a challenge, and it is fun having a bunch of good bot lanes in the league to play around with. So
just a lot of skill. High mechanics, a lot of practice for everyone. And look,
we're not all yet, guys.
And get ready for that game, Rogue. We've got to let you go. But good luck. See you.
Good luck, Rogue.
Thank you, guys.
Always good to chat with the big man down in Melbourne. And always good to get a little bit of Praedyth just being a little cheeky in the background.
Classic, isn't it?
He does it on
like
purpose,
a bingo
surely.
card.
Yeah. I saw your face during that interview. You got very offended at one thing there. What was going on?
Look, you don't need to bring that up.
Are you sure?
No, because I get offended at stupid shit. Like, straight up. The reason I was offended is because he wanted to say subjective and said objective, and I was stuck for the rest of the interview. I was like, he means subjective.
I thought you were just offended that he said that the stonks of the handsomeness went down.
No, because he's saying they didn't. He said it's subjective, but he said the word objective, Mac, and that was what got me.
That's because he's got his head in the game. Objectives.
It's true. And if you guys at home have your head in the game, see if you can call maybe another upset. Who knows if it's an upset if either of these teams win today. But use your points in the Dare fan vote is what I'm trying to get at. Let us know how you think this one's going to go. People got stonks from that last game. I'm pretty sure it was like 30-70 or something.
It's like 89-11, I think.
It was huge.
Yeah,
that's a lot of points for all those mammoth predictors. And speaking of predictions, let's have a look at how we think this one's going to go. Oh, I thought there'd be more of a split in here, but everyone really leaning towards PGG. Rusty.
Yeah.
You got words?
Nah, I mean, I don't have words. I have subjective opinions.
It's the most Australian, nah.
Nah, I got nothing. No, I do think that we're kind of using last week as a springboard of opinions for this match, and I do think that what we saw from Order was like good and bad, where what we saw from PGG was like limit testing and good. There was no like objectively bad thing that I know I'm stuck on the word now. I'm gonna say it the entire game. It's an issue.
Let's play bingo. Count how many times.
It's living in your head rent free.
Yeah.
Twitch chat, there you go. That's your game. This game is just type 1 to, keep it coming.
Count the words.
Every time he says objectives. Kitty, tell me why you've chosen PGG over Order.
I think the thing that Goodo really needs is a confidence boost, because what we've seen from BalKhan is that he was limit testing because he is that cocky player on the Graves. He even picked Graves 2 games in a row because he is the carry of PGG for those early fights.
Okay. So, Skimmy, any thoughts on this one as well? I feel like, look, PGG, what we saw from them last week, I just liked it that little bit more than Order. I still want to see more from Goodo. Maybe this is like the week for it to happen. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, if you look back at their playoffs game, it was really a big emphasis on Kevy and Puma both popping off together. You look at some of those champions at the time, right? The Twitch was certainly one that was like highly prioritized between the two. Certainly it could be a case for it to come out again, right? He's still very strong in the right hands with the right composition, the right pairing, yada, yada, yada. But I just think from what we've seen so far, if you are just looking at a pre-established team that said split 1, split 2, we're going again, versus we're bringing in Goodo, let's find how we can look to try and make him and Kisee this insane mid-jungle. A little bit more time, I think, for Order. So I would probably say like a 60-40 split.
Okay, now look, it looked pretty cold in Melbourne recently, right? And I'm seeing Praedyth walking around in shorts. Are we expecting this man to perform today? Because if his legs are cold, his hands are cold, ADCs, they need those hands warm. Rusty, come
I
on.
just think a rich man in his air conditioning must be living life down there in Melbourne, huh?
Surely.
He's able to walk around in shorts, and it must be very warm in that house.
Toasty.
Toasty.
We got layers on over here in Sydney.
Yeah, it has been chilly.
It's cold.
Now, Kitty, for all the up-and-coming League of Legends players out there, being a challenger yourself, how do you keep your hands warm?
Okay, I actually have a strat. So I don't have heat packs at home because I don't want to buy them. I usually always go for a bathroom break in the middle of a champion select or something. Hot water, I burn it under the hot water for like 5 seconds.
Don't burn your hands. I would not recommend doing that.
And then I close the tap and I run back into my computer and I start playing my game. And like 30 minutes later, my hands get cold again.
I just do these ones.
Ah.
You just sit like this for a
That's
little
a classic, eh?
Yeah.
Since like primary school.
Yeah.
Goes hard.
It's a very solid strat. Except when you actually have to play, then
you do it for too long and then you
play.
just floppy hands.
I just play Yumi and I use one hand.
True.
And you just switch turns.
I did play Yumi actually for the first time the other day.
How'd that go?
Very terrible. But it was fun. I forgot every time someone died, I kind of forgot that I had to keep moving.
You about to bring this up?
Rusty.
You about to bring this up?
Yeah.
I need your opinion on something.
okay,
So,
yeah.
I have the logs from PCE Violet himself.
Yeah, you do.
What are your thoughts on
It's so
Yumi
derailed.
being a champion that you can express skill on?
I've never argued against Yumi having high skill expression. I've argued that a bad Yumi wins more than they should. That is my stance on it. I actually do think that Yumi has skill expression. I just think that a bad Yumi wins way more often than they deserve.
There was like a Riot data point. I can't remember the other champion, but it said like somebody was saying from Riot that they thought that the learning curve for Yumi was like the same as Akali, and I just thought those two together could not be further apart. But apparently Riot has the data.
It's true.
Crazy, eh?
What would you do with the data?
Burn it.
Compress it.
Burn it with
Upload
Yumi.
it.
Burn it with I wouldn't burn a cat. I feel like that's like
It's not a real cat.
It's true, but at the same time, Champ Select's ready, guys. So I'm gonna let you stay with Rusty and Skimmy, and he can explain
Nyan
Down with
Cat?
the whole
Yumi.
situation.
Over to the anti-Yumi couch.
Nyan Cat. Can we get that in game?
No.
Get a skin? Meow, 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 meow. Get that just going on all day. That's how you tilt your AD carry, if not the opposition, but then you can just figure out how to mute your audio. And then maybe you just won the game.
Pabu, when he used to play, had emotes bound to every ability.
Yes.
I think at one point, so you had to mute Pabu's emotes by default, or he'd just piss you off in scrims.
I've learned that very quickly. I've muted all
Yeah.
my audio cues. Otherwise, that has tilted me to the face of eternity.
Look at
First pick,
Taliyah.
Taliyah. Welcome back once again. What do we know? Well, BalKhan did play it last split. He played it in the jungle, but this time it gets a little bit more exciting.
We've
Right?
got a
'Cause it could be in
Xerath.
the mid too.
Straight up locked it in response, which I feel like it has to be mid into Taliyah, right? But I think the only reason that you straight up lock in Xerath is if it's flexible to support. I think that is
Yes.
that is something that it can do.
We did hear that from MF, right? They said they wanted it originally for support.
They originally wanted it to be support, but matchups and ended up griefing mid instead. So the Taliyah are going to be locked in here. Now, I want to bring this up because I do think Taliyah plays multiple roles. It can also jungle.
Yep.
I think it is also a very good jungler right now. It has got the same weak points as it does in mid lane, which is weaker early levels. But if you have setup, which you have a lot of setup, and a lot of jungle champions have dashes, you could be broken.
You certainly can be. Their last pairing was a Taliyah in the jungle with a Twisted Fate in the mid lane. Certainly going to lock in their bot lane for the third time in a row. Lucian, Nami, needs no further introduction. Really, really strong engage. And certainly a very strong answer before these hyperscaling Lulu-empowered champions can come online. Let's see what the next set of bans do look like coming out here from Order, because they've really blitzed themselves through this draft.
Yeah, they definitely have. I mean, right now, what Order have got for themselves is a Jarvan that can engage with a Lulu that can make a knock-up in that area, right? Xerath is one of those non-interactive mid laners, so this is why, first of all, I like Pentanet.gg's first ban here. Though the Lucian Nami exists and can be hyper-aggressive into a Kog'Maw Lulu, the way that Order's comp is currently stipended between like engage of a Jarvan, Kog'Maw dealing damage, and then a Xerath that is untouched, that could be a really nasty composition if it's allowed to get to the scaling, 2-3 item point. So that's a good ban. I wouldn't be surprised to see another ADC targeted. The question is which one, right? Because you could go the Aphelios path. You could go the Twitch route, maybe, if you wanted.
There it is.
So, again, they're going to ban the Twitch, but that kind of leaves open the Jinx. It leaves open the Aphelios, the more standard route. I don't think you'll see a Kalista, even though it is very strong and Puma's played it because it's a Lulu locked in.
Jinx might be the response then if you want all the mobility in the world to try and find those resets and guarantee the kills. They're going to hover between the two, and it is the Jinx that they do guarantee themselves with. So certainly very contrasting styles again in this bot lane, but it feels like a common trend now, right? You know, one is going to go for a scaler, one's going to go for early aggression. Is it Lucian, is it Kalista versus is it the Aphelios, is it the Jinx?
And I think at this point I'm wondering what PGG is going to do. As in, will it be a Taliyah jungle or will it be a Taliyah mid lane?
Yeah.
And what does that mean for their composition? Because Lucian, Nami, very aggressive. Taliyah usually wants to combo with something. I mean, Camille could be that. It could be a Camille Galio composition with a Taliyah thrown into the mix. Which is just really high damage, close ranged bruises. They would be unequivocally outranged, but their dive threat would be really high. So that's certainly a possibility. Or it could be a straight up just like a Taliyah mid lane, take the L, get outranged, but scale fine. Never mind. My first guess was spot on. We're doing all right.
Ultimately, we're just doing pairs upon pairs, right? You know, Lucian, Nami, insanely goated. Same could be said for the Camille and the Galio as well, right? You lock them in place with a Hextech ultimatum, you crash on down, they can't run, they can't hide. Guaranteed backline access, right? Given the fact that Order very much have a case of, we want to make this Jinx as strong as possible. Mordekaiser, though, one of those champions.
I'd love a Poppy instead, but I think Mordekaiser works.
He's crack up though, right? Because his ultimate is just like, you can be as fed as possible.
Exactly.
Ult.
Camille ults you. You're just 1v1ing now. There's no Galio combo, right? There's no Taliyah to follow that one up. I'm a fan of what Mordekaiser can provide. It just doesn't feel cohesive to me as a composition. Right now, there is a Jarvan that can engage, and Lucian can just straight up dash out of it.
Yeah.
There's no actual follow-up for the engage. It's just Goodo in a dream, right? Mordekaiser's just going to do his thing. So you can take a Nami out of a fight. You can remove parts of a combo of the Camille Galio. There's strength there. You can also sit in the side lane relatively safely because they can't dive you. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons the Mordekaiser can be looked at. This comp from me, just looking at orders first, screams just scaling long-range damage. They just want to get excited, get a reset, right? And that is usually done by Jarvan engaging. Xerath uses a full combo with the Jinx ultimate. Lulu probably uses a combo on the Jarvan to keep him alive for longer.
Yeah.
But if PGG get the jump, I think they're fine. That's pretty standard, however, when you're looking at what I just called earlier, a close-range dive composition against a long-range kite composition. That's really what we're seeing.
Yeah, it just feels to me as if Goodo's been almost dealt the short straw, right? You know, his KDA is not going to be pretty. He's been told, your job is to engage, and the rest of us just have to hope through the war of attrition that we have found more kills, more value out of that engage that you have laid down as a plan. PGG, however, combos upon combos, almost like we're playing Tekken here, because they are really looking to try and juggle you up, gobble you down, and take you for a trip from start to finish in this game before Order can really have fun with some of these quirky picks that they've locked in place.
There is certainly some undodgeable crowd control as well, right? So it is one of those games where it would feel really bad to have cleanse. Perhaps if you're Puma, you might want it for the Galio. You might want it to get out of like a Taliyah combo, right, in the first place. But if you don't have exhaust, you might just die. It's a difficult crossroads, I think, for him to look at. For Kisee in mid lane, this is the place where, and I haven't spoken about this too much yet, but Galio, while is obviously outranged, is a magic tank. So this is one of those matchups where you feel like Xerath does nothing. And so what you're expecting to see here is while the Galio roams, uses the ultimate to get elsewhere on the map, so does the Xerath actually. Just runs up river, presses R halfway, and that's his involvement in skirmishes as they take place. And that can be the difference between a Jinx getting excited reset and a triple kill instead of just the one.
I think a big talking point that we've mentioned in the past, right, especially with Corporal, is how they can play that bot lane, because the supports have such a huge undertaking in guaranteeing vision for the team to allow their junglers to really be as present as possible, to find those engage angles, to find those windows of opportunity to protect and peel and ultimately put their team in a winning position. Ultimately, we're here for game number 2, and we're here to hear from the man himself from New Zealand in Chippies. Welcome back, mate.
What's up, G?
I'm feeling really good, bro. Glad to have you with us. Great start to the season, no doubt about it. I have to ask, I mean, it's a much, much tougher schedule this week. Who are you most excited to play? Was it Order today or Chiefs tomorrow?
We're a lot more excited to visit Order, to be honest. Even though we think Chiefs are a lot better at the moment, we got some unfinished business with Order after last split.
No doubt. And that's what I was imagining as well, right, given the way that those playoffs concluded. Talk to me about this bot lane in a little bit, right, because it feels like we really are doing this handshake of one team goes for scaling, the other goes for early aggression. Is that just a narrative right now? Both, Praedyth and Rogue, let's just win early, and then we, full steam ahead.
Yeah, we've got a lot prepared for if they start banning Lucian, but as long as we keep winning on Lucian Nami, there's no need for us to scale.
No doubt about it. Well, talk to me quickly on a sort of a backstage, right? A bit of a meta glance. Are you enjoying the meta? I mean, obviously a lot of your players quite comfortable to, deviate away from the norm. So how have you found it?
I think the meta is really good for our team personally, because the boys are constantly fighting non-stop. So the meta has a lot more drawn out fights. so we can really showcase our mechanical skill difference.
Yeah, and no doubt we've seen some of those mechanical influences happen already. Well, I'm going to leave you to it. Let the boys play, and wish you the best of luck.
See ya, Jeep.
So, of course, we did get a first blood there while in a coach interview. It is the standard. If you watch it back, you will acknowledge that it was Kisee just trying to get first strike money. Ends up giving 400 gold over to the Galio, who now comes back to lane with boots and a Dark Seal. And also with the W start. So very quickly on that mid lane, Galio doesn't always feel that great starting W unless your opponent is melee, because you just won't get value from it. But because it also provides a flat magic shield, Xerath kind of doomed for dealing damage. So it's okay to start Thorn as Galio in that matchup. You use your passive auto attack to push regardless. And will be relatively healthy. Try as Kisee might to do some kind of damage here. We'll see it again because they do skirt around the vision really nicely. Kisee's just not forward enough to see them. And Goodo will get spotted with BalKhan here. They'll play the dance. Kisee sees an opportunity to make some money. Bang, bubble, taunt, dead.
That's cute. That's very nice. And what a way to start out this lane, right? Dark Seal in hand, Predator Boots complete. Ready to be a nuisance already from level 3 on.
And it's a nice little ward to spot the Raptor camp being done by Goodo at the same time. So Yuri's going to have pretty good priority in mid lane. You would expect through the most of this early game is just going to be auto-attacking with his passive combo pushing. Freedom to move. Praedyth actually taking a whole lot of damage there while Rogue was off to ward. And I was going to talk about this bot lane matchup as well because a lot of this, it looks very boring until a Lucian dashes forwards. But a lot of this lane is actually dictated by how the Nami and the Lucian lane against each other. Because you want to play from the bush and poke, but hold that thought, because mid...
Yuri's on the boost. He's got the boots charged up, and he's forced out that flash. Not finding much success is Kisee being first-blooded and forced to burn the flash. She got the range. But if they get creative, PGG will find it.
Yeah, I mean, that flash being used just means it is going to be circles in mid lane, right? Surely they will be going back there time and again. Also with the opportunity to just leave mid lane instead, right? Have BalKhan hovering for priority and both just disappear to a side lane. We spoke about this already. Very difficult to dive a Mordekaiser once he hits level 6. Is also holding his wave in the perfect position. Very difficult for Winterer to break this one without a high health trade. Has got the wall, of course, to his right if he wanted to really force this one in, but limited wave early is Camille without items, so just kind of takes free damage.
Definitely one of the champions, isn't it, Mordekaiser? So much like a set kind of welcomes those 2v1s, almost wants that jungler to come up there for vision for the rest of the team. But the fact that, as you say, be it the grip for a set or the ult for Mordekaiser, you know, it's a 2v1. No, it's not anymore. Now it's a 1v1. Now I've got your stats. Ultimately, I could just look to try and be the clutch factor and take you both.
Yeah, Mordekaiser is like the Twisted Fate Galio counter. Just the inability to dive that champion more than anything else. Those are usually the two that you would see it matched up against. So the fact that it is a Galio mid lane does help a lot for that. Speaking of the Galio in mid lane, that looks to me like Boots of Lucidity have been rushed.
Yeah.
Instead of the Merc Treads. So he's not worried about both solo laners dealing magic damage nor the Lulu. Just wants to be using summoners as much as possible, sprinting everywhere, having an impact with that Predator as much as possible as well.
Certainly. Keep that one on cooldown as quickly as possible to make it all happen again. Returning to the scene of the crime, and they both flash across. They knock them up, they knock you down, and they take you out of the game. It's taking a little bit longer. Hang on a minute, bit of a caster curse. Kisee's still living. BalKhan's going to be traded as a result of that one. They overestimated just how much damage they had. And now to charge back, a bit of a headbutt. Yuri says, why have you done this? And Goodo walks away with one.
Yeah, Yuri really didn't need to take the back half of that trade, but nevertheless, it is going to be a large Galio sitting in mid while it becomes a 1-for-1. We spoke about this. I'm not sure that BalKhan had fully shopped yet for that lost chapter, so missing a bit of damage. But Taliyah in general is missing damage now, right? The fact that Shove doesn't have a base damage does mean it hurts quite a lot in your one-hit combo put together, and that was every ability connecting from both members. No magic resistance there from the Xerath. It's still not enough damage. That's why you probably played a side, Skimmy.
Yeah, bit of a moment, wasn't it? When you're looking at that one and thinking, hang on a minute, he is still alive. That's a beautiful double bubble. Rogue continuing to almost lead the line of how to play Nami here in O's.
Rogue is the best fish in the sea.
What was he called? He was the Sea Witch. Was that
the
it?
Sea Witch? I think it was, yeah.
As aptly named by Kitty.
It's also his third game in the LCO, third game on Nami. No one taking it away from them. Lucian has been banned in other regions. Has been banned in OS, but apparently not from Pensanet.gg.
It's almost like Rogue has this like tendency though, isn't it? Because before, you know, towards the end of Split 1, it's just Leona on repeat. 2020, my match history full of Leona.
Yeah, he's a one trick, I guess.
One trick at the highest level.
Yeah. Speaking of one tricks, BalKhan going to do the same trick over and over, making sure mid lane has priority. It works this time around, however, it's just going to be a bit of pressure and leaving. The curious difference here is that PGG had priority in bot lane. They're not going for the Drake. In multiple lanes, they did have priority and perhaps the ability to move. They're going to sacrifice minions under this turret for the purpose of just leaving. But Rogue is really the MVP in making sure that it was still worth it.
Absolutely. Corporal's gone back to base, but twice Puma's reset has been cancelled. He just has to chalk it up and say, well, I guess I'm sticking around.
Yeah, you know that they're going to reset regardless, right? So you're just actually delaying your own base by a little bit. It means you're not going to be full strength at the same time as the rest of your team. Corporal also working with Goodo right now, knowing that there's no reason to be near his AD whatsoever. Hasn't gone to the river yet. I think he's actually waiting for Goodo to clear the wolves. I'm guessing because that would have ticked him over to 6 and did. So now a level 6 Jarvan comes into the river. They want to be as strong as possible to make those plays and clear the vision out at the minimum. While Puma, right now, will get that delayed reset.
Now, we already talked about how much of a big role and an impact Goodo could have in this game, right? Is that Soul Initiator, the one that most likely with the Cataclysm is going to receive the Wild Growth to buy time to try and supplement the fact that they are very lackluster in terms of those frontline options to make it easy. So as long as Goodo can survive, if he's got that Gore Drink and maybe a second item afterwards, it's a fair bit of mitigation that could really cause PGG some issues.
And I like this play by Order in general, just going for the Drake. Knowing, of course, that Puma's not there means that if Pentanet.gg responded, you might feel in danger. But also, they're playing towards the blue spawning, right? They're playing towards the top side of the map. And they also are fully aware that that wasn't going to be contested from them. If it was, they'd probably just walk away, right? It is what it is. Rift Herald is going to be started here, but so late. First of all, I think because the blue buff wanted to be taken first. Taliyah, of course, wants to have that blue to try and get the full Rift Herald if you're soloing this. Has got the hover from the team, however.
Now unleashing a flurry of boulders towards this Herald, the first one of the game. As you say, there is Yuri back him up in guarantee vision by blooming the skies across the top half of this map and saying that's where Kisee is. I'm not sure if they caught the tail end of Goodo walking through mid. But regardless, Herald is secure. And farming up an absolute storm.
Certainly is. We're kind of slowing down here as well. I think both teams are not really feeling forced to make any kind of play. We've seen no hyper-aggression from our Lucian Namis today. We've really just seen them coasting, which is fine. I don't think that they scale off as a duo by any means. They're just closer range, right? Where the Jinx scales up in damage and range. Starts to become extremely dangerous, especially when you go press the attack versus lethal tempo as your runes. Corporal with a bit of a, how you going? Hold this L real quick.
Level 6 already complete for Rogue. Corporal shouldn't be too far away. But they found a rare moment to roam down through the river. They darted past the vision, and they're just going to get caught by this one as they walk on through.
I just don't know how this works, Skimmy. You've got a hover from Galio, you've got a Taliyah with ult in range as well. If you try and force this play, you do just get completely undone. It's a great ward. I think that's the second time I've seen that ward from PGG. Perhaps trying to bait the play themselves, because they have priority in mid lane now, and it's actually Yuri's turn to leave.
Yeah, Kisee's missed that opportunity. Goodo is waiting in the wings, vision down, guaranteed idea that they can make this happen, but now it's being pressed and no response back. Furious pings to say that BalKhan's in the area now.
And again, just to reiterate, Order's composition doesn't have the best engage if Pentanet.gg have flashes. They do. Jarvan Ultimate is the primary source of engage for them right now. It's not going to be easy to find unless a flag drag happens first, right, to actually force a summoner spell. So their setup needs to be very expertly done.
But it does feel like the theme of what Order has shown so far in his first 3 games, right? You dialed it back to that game against the Chiefs. You know, that was a big burden of execution to land the ideal poke or to try and start off the game on a strong foot, right? Otherwise, you start to fall behind. And that's exactly what PGG are looking to try and abuse here. First Herald, summon a mid, get those turrets, make only 1 remain, and that tier 1 is gone.
Yeah, a lot of good damage placed there. Of course, BalKhan still playing around Yuri. I think both teams aren't, while not pressed to make plays, struggling to find a play that they're comfortable with. I think that they're really feeling the risk and the burden of execution there belonging to both of them. You can't dive top. It's a Mordekaiser. You're not going to dive the Camille with the Mordekaiser doing no damage just yet. So it's very difficult to make anything happen. The Taliyah and the Galio have found, I think, 1 moment so far to actually move around the map. Otherwise, they're just pressuring mid. But Xerath completed Mythic now with that Ludens has so much more wave clear. You just press one Q and a W and the whole wave's gone.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to continue to push that wave out. Or at least it will be matched by the Xerath. I guess the question for me is, how do you force summoner spells? Like, how to order force something that actually puts them in an advantageous position other than just trading objectives? Because you could, try and play for the Drake, try and get the second Drake in the game, give yourself a win condition that kind of forces PGG to come towards you. But I think if that doesn't happen, they'll just be really content biding their time, scaling into the game. Get BalKhan level 13 where he's at his strongest. Level 11 for Yuri. Have that ultimate up more often. A Galio ult, a tidal wave, very hard to stop. A good team fight from happening.
Both junglers have just completed the mythic item, both really fueling the fire of what they want to achieve. The Gore Drinker for the sustain, the Ludens for that burst that was lacking in that kill in the mid lane you saw earlier on. And that might be all they need to feel comfortable about these first 13 minutes played out here in Game 2 of the night.
And it is looking like it's going to be a support itemization from Yuri, where it is the carry itemization from BalKhan. I'm actually curious as to how they give and assign farm to both players the later the game goes. There might be a point where like the Karthus approach to the game takes effect.
Sure.
By which I mean a lot of games Karthus will hit like 2-3 items and then he'll just start taking waves in lanes instead of just jungle. Because it's more important that he does than you do.
It's almost like the Karma approach when you play mid Karma. I've got my 2 items.
Yeah.
I no longer need anything. The rest is yours.
I am now your servant for the rest of the game.
Second Dragon, this one, first claimed by Pentanet, will be a cloud at that. As we transform the Rift and we activate some of those Hex Gates, which, as we saw in the games last week, certainly had some very creative output. Excited to see what the teams can put together again this time. It's really one of my favorite ones.
Very creative uses by the Chiefs specifically. So
yeah.
It was nice to see. Top now just having another biff. It does seem like BioPanther's starting to get more and more control of this lane. That's also reflected through the farm here a bit, Skimmy. I feel like slowly creeping ahead is Bio up there.
Yeah, it's a huge lead to say the least. Both sitting on that 1 item complete. We obviously know what a Camille can do. Certainly wants more time. Absolutely, same could be said there for the Mordekaiser too, but to get ahead this early on, you're feeling very confident. No attention shown topside because of a lot of the reasons that you mentioned of both champions and their outplay abilities, but
yeah,
we're just biding our time. 14 minutes in, only 3 kills to be found.
I also think the Divine Sunderer build is, in my mind, more indicative of wanting to team fight when it comes to it anyway, right? Might even be that we have the Titanic Hydra and a Sterax as the type of build that we get instead of, like a Ravenous or a... I'm forgetting the name
Trinity
of it
Death
right
Stance
now.
or whatever it might
the
be.
The split-pushing one.
Oh, Hex, yeah.
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, that one. The one that split pushes, that builds out of a Phage instead of Sterax Gauge. Caster, by the way.
No, we just forget about those items. They don't exist.
It's just not real.
Banner of Command, that one.
I don't miss that. Nor's a Rot Portal.
Well, that mid-tier 1 really is like a wobbly tooth. It's ready to come on out and fall on down as that second Herald is spawning, and it will be claimed in an absolute heartbeat. Something that Pentanet have really put a lot of attention towards really in the last few weeks, even during the off-season, was let's get these Heralds, let's get early tempo. They've always been that one at the forefront of getting all the towers
Order
first.
just disappeared, though. Like, in stark contrast to what we've seen from PGG the past few minutes, both objectives coast to coast secured for free, no contest, not even a look in, no trades of objectives. Kisee just sitting behind his turret mid's just going to let it fall.
There we go, though. Here's an opportunity. Great bubble disengage. The tidal wave for insurance, and Goodo just walks in and says, that could have been a pick, that could have been a flank, but it won't be anymore.
I think this raises probably the most important point about this game is that order scale. I think above all else, the fact that they are willingly conceding all of these objectives is a show of faith in themselves, their own abilities, and how they think they match up against Pentanet.gg and that we will outscale you. That's what they're looking at. Get your Mythics first and foremost on Puma. Currently doesn't have that in comparison to Praedyth. Get probably 2 items, 3 items onto Puma as well. Depends on if he goes for a Zeal item or like an LDR second and as to how he wants to play this one out. We will see.
Well, whilst they pointed that fort in the bot lane, another chance for these top laners to have an absolute crack at it. Winter with the fancy feet, dodging out everything that he can. A jump across with the hook shot, a flash forward with the hammer down. In comes BalKhan saying, what are you doing to my top laner? The Death Realm is there. He's tried to flash away, but he's died. His stats are being consumed. Yuri said to burn the TP to come up here. He's nearly gone for the 2v1. Make it a 3v1 as BalKhan's down to 50. And that was a little bit too close for Comfort. The artillery barrage. Kisee, well done.
Yeah, Kisee comes in to make sure that it is just a good trade from Order. The one place they try and make a play is on BioPanther. The one person you really can't do that. Praedyth.
Well, he's already burnt that dash. Dashed out the Cataclysm, forced to flash afterwards. Flag and drag was certainly problematic, and almost in a heartbeat, Order have just burst into life.
I think a very small note is that a pixel perfect Gale Force, I believe, can get you out of a Jarvan ultimate, but it literally has to be pixel perfect, almost predictive. It's going to be the flash used, but that's the main point that I was saying before, right? Order playing around this Jarvan have no actual follow-up. There's no Galio on their team. That's not the way that it's going to work, but they get the flash from the Lucian, so it is certainly possible that they look towards him again. That's kind of opening the door to the team fights, right, in the next coming minutes, when you've got a Drake in 1 minute itself. Kind of play around Goodo having his ultimate there. But meanwhile, I mean, BioPanther currently the hero of the show. Keeps his 30 CS lead, solos, brings 3 people, if not 4/5. Rogue was already up there by the end of the skirmish as well.
Yeah.
And then Kisee doing exactly what we said he would do on this Xerath, which is just press R from mid lane, see if you can get something.
Utilize the range. Look, I can't actually physically move myself up there, but look, I can definitely do this and win on 2 separate occasions. As you do see, though, Yuri is the man with all the gold in the game. He's got 3 kills. All the kills that so far Pensnet have managed to acquire.
Which isn't good.
Which is not good.
Which is not good.
Looking at his
Because he is utility. He is not the carry with the money. It is not BalKhan that will be able to one-hit everybody just yet.
Oh, that really does hurt. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Puma's flashing forward. He's getting excited. Yuri's getting excited both in-game and with the passive. In jumps Winter. A Hexagon made him. One taps him as Yuri's now got 4 kills. This support is unleashed. The boulders. The minefield has been sidestepped away. The Death Realm is out. BioPanther's not going to get collapsed upon, but as he comes out through, 1v4, the raid boss finally falls on down. Commiserations to Order there. Looking at it off tank to try and pop off again, but with that next dragon spawning, Pensnet wastes no time.
Really messy engage by Order. Just gets collapsed upon. Yuri's still hunting.
Yuri's really trying to zone him away. The Whimsy, the polymorph, the dash on through. The wall gets taken on down. There's the Weavers. There's a drop off. And almost like a skater at the park, he pops a trick and gets a double.
Yeah, BalKhan with the Herald to summon as well. They'll be able to crash this mid-wave, look for another turret after the Drake, after the one team fight. Hugely successful coming out of the squad of PGG here. And just a wash from Order. Very messy team fight. A lot of things going wrong there all at the same time. No doubt we'll be able to see come replay. And Kisee trying his best. You can actually see that reflected in damage. Rogue.
Rogue's just dead.
What are you up to, buddy? What are you doing, buddy? Lesson 1 of League is reset with your team. Anyway, we'll see this fight start once again. Of course, it was a massive queue that goes forwards. Puma is legitimately behind enemy lines, trying to get those resets. Gets hit by a Camille ultimate. Is just locked down. BioPanther, I think in an attempt to stop a Galio combo, instead of killing Praedyth, just ults Yuri. Like, yes, it is a 4-0 Galio at this point, but I think you would rather actually take someone out of the fight, like Praedyth, get the stats from killing him as well, and then contribute to the rest of it. Genuinely think that might have been teamfight winnable if that was the case. But nevertheless, the positional errors start to add up here. Forced choke point by BalKhan with an exceptional ultimate. Yuri just going to headbutt it to say, good job, bro.
Headbutts the wall.
It's a high five from
come on, boys.
Distance.
He's a little bit of a man possessed. Certainly when he was playing that zone D at the very end there. Goodo not going to look to try and re-engage. Kisee, well, he shrugs off all the damage with his itemization. 10 stacks now on that Magi's. Yes, he's a support. Yes, he's got an Everfrost and the Banshees. He says, you know what? If I am this fed, why not double dip?
I mean, a support this fed is still going to be doing a lot of damage. They're not just support items. They are definitely still ability power. Yuri is an absolute powerhouse, for sure. And really is something that the team will be playing around, right? You've got the Camille with the QSS right now to get out of the Mordekaiser ultimate. The combo is going to be there for them if they go to play towards BioPanther, who doesn't have the flash for just a little while. Order really struggling, I think, to make this composition work. They need patience. They need slow, methodical play. That could be really bad.
That's really bad. He's going to come out the Zonias and meet his maker and just fall on down. Goodo going to hit the gold drink and receive the wild growth. But just fall on down regardless. That tower, it was far too ramped up and healthy to take you down as Winter does just that to Order support. Corporal down, another Death Realm and another kill found. Nami's life does not get much easier than this. Look at the shield, mitigation just out of range is Yuri, as that was his next target on the radar. big scrappy exchange here.
I mean, a lot of really questionable positioning from Order, but still in the end, quite successful. Yuri, very tanky with the Banshee's Veil. At the very least, some extra magic resistance there will survive. Just a bit more pressure from Kisee, perhaps getting a first strike proc in before he resets. I mean, regardless, that was... I'm not sure the Jinx ultimate was ever going to be lethal. So the fact that that was Zhonya's in the first place for the fight to exist feels like the biggest mistake if I was to pick anything from that little series of events. Which is credit to Order for following this one through. Because I'm pretty sure that's just not lethal, right? You've got a Nami around the corner, you'd be one hit maybe. Goodo doesn't walk towards his team, gets Lulu ultimated, and then Corporal doesn't stay with his team, separates towards Winterer. So a lot of this is messy, right? But then BioPanther just comes through, hits the E, pulls Rogue in and says, thank you for the stacks, I am now very large, and they're just going to have to disengage from this one. All things considered, just an even skirmish.
Oh, that's a fantastic wall. Actually going to completely separate BioPanther. He's not going to take it, but he's still going to take this kill. As he's flashed, but he's missed the wall. That is a disaster. Another wave is going to knock up literally everybody into another two-man bubble. Where's the follow-up? It just doesn't exist, Rusty.
Lots of damage still going to be put back down. Remember, Kisee doesn't have the ultimate for another 15 to 30 seconds. It means Baron's not doable with all of the missing health, however, from PGG. Ultimates expended, resources used. That was a nice little blind shot there as well from the Xerath. Stops a reset from Winterer. Stops everyone's resets.
Very close.
Making them dance.
He only gets worse, level 16, another shot to add on, and that might be what it takes to try and take out Praedyth here. But certainly Kisee, the curse is putting in work. And even if he was to be the first blood recipient, he is putting in work in this later portion of the game.
I mean, I think at a Void Staff, this Xerath can be undeniably powerful, right? And Puma just gets to utilize that, just exist around the Xerath damage to try and find those resets. And that's a team fight in and of itself, right? One pick essentially reset the Jinx into dealing maximum damage, as much damage as possible. But I do think you need that Void Staff from the Xerath. We'll see, because it looks like he's going straight towards a death cap. There's a QSS there from the Camille, right? There's magic resistance from mid lane, but no one else really has forced MR, so it's certainly possible to go straight for, you know, like playing for the kills on the squishy people only. He's got enough range to do that now. He's level 14 of 16.
Sole point now. Depends net to ponder.
Also, in that last play, I feel like Lulu did have ult ready for BioPanther. I'm not sure if it was a failed flash or if it was a flash just to get closer.
Is a consideration.
Give the benefit of the doubt to BioPanther, but
For sure.
that means he doesn't have flash, which makes the team fights a bit harder.
The way that wall was actually positioned, you're thinking it's
So
a
good.
full five-man collapse, but ultimately it works out so beautifully. You just could not ask for better.
BalKhan has always been a Taliyah player as well, so the second Taliyah became meta in the jungle role, I think PGG just got buffed.
Yeah.
Like, beyond belief. I know Chippies was a top laner while BalKhan was in the league, beating us with Taliyah jungle. He was a nightmare, so no doubt Chippies was ready to go with this one.
No doubt from his interview as well. He said, look, we think this meta serves us well. We're seeing it on proof right here and right now. And 12 kills to 8, up by 6,000 gold as well. Certainly feeling really good about their chances in this game. And it was crazy when you looked at the fan vote, just how close it was. A big flash away as Everfrost was certainly going to hit him at the tip. And once again, the fancy feet come out. And he can't juke at all.
Doesn't matter how fancy you are when there's too many skill shots coming at you. They will get themselves Winterer. 3 minutes, however, till the Drake means that the only thing you can play towards is the Baron. Now, taking stock of vision control, it has been more towards Baron from Order, but they haven't been able to place much down yet. I think they're due for a reset from Corporal if they want to place wards at all. So it does feel like it is just going to be the easy objective, as it is, of course.
And with that pick, they are going to use that numbers advantage to force themselves a objective bounty by claiming that first turret in the bot lane, in part to BioPanther. Worth quickly noting, as we have a bit of a lull moment, that look at the QSS, the tax is being paid. It's not a Malzahar, but certainly you hit that at the right time, you cancel that death rail, and it's a big component of making sure that if Puma tries to get excited, he can't flash chase. He just gets locked down, and he's dead.
100%. Still the game kind of fizzling, right? Like, there's so many attempts, but it is forced, every attempt that we've really been seeing. That ultimate top lane was a nice option from BalKhan. I'm seeing the confidence from him. I'm going to 1v1 Puma coming out of him mid.
Oh, the curse.
Praedyth has flash.
It is the curse. There it is. Instant flash away. Sidesteps it all, culling as a deterrent, and 4 members in mid lane, and it just cycles back to that point again, right? Goodo finds that great pick. He burns the resources. Can't do much after that.
I think once again we find ourselves, this time I think that was actually better timed from Order. They get the flash from Praedyth with 2 minutes until the Drake. So as the soul point comes around in 2 minutes, it's something that Order have to go towards. They will have an opportunity to go straight onto this Lucian. And it may come down to execution, where I think last time they did fail in that execution. They get a Toga. They get to have another crack.
Pentanet furiously pinging this bot half of the map. They are expecting Bio to show up, patiently waiting in the wings, waiting to see if he shoves this one out and force a collapse. The rest of Order, as we will know from the minimap, aren't anywhere near him. They have so much vision to be safe in this decision.
QSS on the Camille means it has to be Taliyah.
He's going to jump on in. There's the knockback. There's the minefield. The ult goes out, but the kill is found, and Rogue, of all people, in a 3v1 as they're on, to pick up the killing blow.
Yeah, QSS does actually just get used by Winter. Really well played in terms of vision, right? Winter goes first. There's no ability to use that Mord ult on anyone else. Nor does he flash himself out, because he only saw the one person using hookshot initially. Order, you would assume, would have been able to get some vision on the top side of the map, but they weren't playing towards that just yet. BioPanther just a little bit too far forward, perhaps thinking that he was somewhat safe as the team was moving towards him. Baron now on the cards. Vision completely denied. I wonder if they use something like a Xerath ultimate to see it, but they have incredibly deep wards actually. They would have just seen Taliyah disengaging from the Baron area towards bot side. You can see the 2 wards at the entrances of the river towards Baron.
Yeah. But just from what we saw from the observers before when they toggled it, it really is all lit up in favor of Pentanet right now. They are really resting on their laurels as to when do we need to burn these ultimates and when do we need to really reveal that vision. Well, Baron is up, we all know that. But this dragon, which Pentanet really want for that soul point, 25 seconds.
And what Order have actually been doing the past couple of minutes is forcing as much farm as possible onto Kisee by himself. I believe he's very close to a death cap, you would have to assume at this point. So an extra wave, an extra minute perhaps. Doesn't have the teleport. Taliyah ultimate splits them, but it doesn't actually do anything else.
No, it's not the engage option they want. Worth noting, as you say, Kisee strong. Puma's even stronger. 3 items complete and a stopwatch too.
Winter just got revealed by a heal from Nami.
There goes the barrage of magic, locking down as many people as possible. Not too low as a result of that one. Easy pickings for Nami to top up and make healthy. The damage on towards that dragon to start things off.
Huge Camille flank Skimmy.
Look at the Camille, as you say, looking for the flash,
ready.
looking for the play. Has the QSS active, has the fight intact to get stolen away. There will not be a soul point. A 2-man tidal wave. 2 members locked in place. That Cataclysm. Goodo's just going to die for this one. He's done his job in this fight. Winter is still chasing on through, backing up Yuri, who goes golden for a second. Bio in a 2v1 takes out Praedyth. And they will find that shutdown, but it's a 1 for 4.
Bio does it correctly this time, right? Finds a carry, finds the ability to make the trade, make the play happen. Kisee alive does have a lot of damage that he could throw down at the Baron. However, I think 4 members strong and a teleport there from Yuri should completely dissuade that from being possible. And this does mean it will be a Baron after the Drake going towards PGG. However, the steal from Goodo clutch. Game-saving levels of clutch. While they sacrifice their team for it because their one engage tool is going towards the Drake, not the fight, they at least get the Drake. So that's the big thing here. Goodo's going to flag drag smite. BioPanther goes forward. It means that Winter gets a free flank off here. Flashes ult. Galio, the second he can, then the polymorph goes away, joins the mix. Kisee's out of the fight. Puma completely out of the fight. Flashes away from one, but a hookshot reset's going to come through, and that's it, right? BalKhan's at the time of his life, just running around throwing rocks at everybody.
And just completely negates any argument made to say that they have all this range. They're on your head, they're in your face, they aren't making it very easy or whatsoever. Back to base they go. There's the Rabadons that you were screaming for, but just not available at that moment.
Happens a minute late, right? And that's the beauty of the way PGG have been able to just play around the objectives. The fact that they don't get the Drake sucks, yes, but knowing that you're bringing order to the Drake actually gives you the opportunity to team fight, lets you have the flank angles there. You also know next Dragon, Winter's Flash will be up at the same time, so you can do the exact same play again. I just think in retrospect, and I don't know if Order noticed this, but the Nami heal went over the wall to the Camille. So you have to assume that you know he's there, or at least that's what we saw. Maybe that's too small a detail, maybe they missed it, I don't know.
What we do know is that this Baron is putting in a lot of work at this moment. Plenty of time remaining and many structures to claim, but they are certainly doing it right now in a 1-4 split targeting mid and bot. They are putting work into this bot turret that's about to fall on down. The Inspired Cannon is pumping up a storm here, but after that wave fizzles on out, they have to wait for that second one to come on through, and I feel like, honestly, if a fight's won here, the game's just over.
I've been watching mid lane. 2 Qs have connected from Kisee under BalKhan. He's now killable with 1 ultimate. Mordekaiser ults.
Zephyr onto Yuri. The culling goes out to prevent anybody here to back up BioPanther. He's going to be swarmed around the entirety of Pentiment. He's going to go golden. Zonya's putting in work. Weaver's Wall locks him out of place. Where are you going, son? Back to the fountain for you. Yuri is unstoppable, having the game of his life here.
Yeah, Yuri putting in so much work for the team as well. These walls have been exceptional from Pentanet.gg. The zoning from Rogue as well in this Nami. Doing exactly what is required for his team to succeed. That'll be 2 inhibitors, presumably, that will go down. Of course, they've come back fresh from base. He's going to stun himself. Oh,
BalKhan's in trouble. 2 shots missed. He's going to come out. A 3rd missed, a 4th, a 5th. Where's it going to be? It's already done. They've missed their chance at retribution to answer back. And as that Baron will start to wither away, you just look at the base of order and it is in shatters.
Yeah, that's going to be a stopwatch used as well. Of course, it is thankfully a Zonia's for BioPanther. So come Drake, that is what I'm thinking about. How can Order contest this? How can Order keep themselves in the game? I think they have to win this Drake fight. The way that this plays out is really important. Order have got maybe 20 seconds to set themselves up, get a ward down, somewhere meaningful. Unfortunately, I think the Pixel Bush is the most cleared ward from any sweeper that you place. So for Corporal, that's going to be a low value ward. I think he just placed it because he's not feeling safe going any further, perhaps. Maybe you sneak one in the pit.
Important talking points though for Order. A minute on that Dragon to try and deny that soul point again. Puma should potentially just have his flash up in time for that one. 4 items complete. Stopwatch still available. There is still a chance.
Even Elixir's being purchased right now from BioPanther, so they are looking. Of course, the game does come down to, can Order poke? Can Kisee poke for Puma to get resets? Or will they just fall prey to the low-range, high-damage comp that PGG have? Really good displacement that comes out from a Taliyah wall as well when you know where they are and when you know that they have to come towards you. So, got to be really clutch if you're Order if you want to win this game. Near impossible to do if PGG get to set up.
Incredibly difficult for that. And for the goal difference against them, they are down 10,000 at the 34-minute mark. Goodo going to claim what he can with that crowd to say
he's
we've got
about to
some
be spotted,
vision.
actually. So he's in Tribush clearing. Rogue!
He's on a completely different idea to the rest of his team. He's been burnt the flash. Oh, the Rookie's been clapped by Winter. The splash damage. It's a huge shutdown.
That was so nicely done from Kisee. It's actually playing on the tendencies of PGG. Taliyah Wall used, locks the Mordekaiser into the pit. Winterer also does have a blast flank. He's also got a large flank. That is a very large flank.
Looking for the flank. Winter's going to go for the fight that he's after. Instant flash away there from Kisee. Winter might just fallen down as a result of this one. He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to go for the fight regardless. Down comes the entrance. In goes the Galio. He's got 25 stacks in this mid-eyes, and he just don't miss. Nor does their AD carry. It's an ace. It's a quadra kill. Praedyth, eat your heart out.
Huge damage. That's just going to be game here. PGG effectively wiped the floor with Order. When it comes to crunch, when it comes to team fights, they're just a little bit too strong.
4v5, it just does not matter when the economy is this strong for the boys in Perth. Look at them go and look at them win. 35 minutes in, and they find their revenge from last split's playoffs.
And I can't help but echo the sentiment of Chippy's, the coach of PGG. This does feel like their meta. This does feel like all of the champions that they want to play are definitely theirs for the taking, right? 3 Lucian Namis in a row. 3 very good performances, you would have to say, from the bottom lane of the team. Cheeky into the end there from Rogue that perhaps he's just watching the replay of, which is why you get that reaction.
Yeah, hide the camera. Nobody saw it. It didn't exist. But ultimately, you know, if Goodo is the one, the man on the hunt, the one looking to try and bait out and make that fight happen for them, yeah, I guess that really is what it looks like in a 4v5 situation when you're just that strong.
Yeah, what a game though. There was so many points where you could see Order almost making it work. Something that was throwing me off as well was those Mord ults, not actually seeing them as used to seeing them in a game. They were throwing me off. I was like, hang on, why is Bio allowed to just stand there? And I'm like, oh wait, no, he's in an ult. Okay, idiot. But look, that was a fun time. And Order, unfortunately, couldn't make it happen. PGG though, looked outstanding, Kitty. And as you mentioned back in the green room while we were watching this game, there was just like a mobility difference, right?
There was indeed a mobility difference coming out of Order's team comp where PG has locked in 3 champions that provide great gap closes where the Jinx and Xerath can't survive these team fights. And with the Lulu, although it's an enchanter support that provides the peel, it doesn't provide something like a Janna would disengage for these team fights. And I'm a Janna enthusiast, so
I know you
I would
are.
love to see Order to switch out the Lulu for maybe a Janna in perhaps for these instances.
That's actually a really good point, Kitty. I think that even, or like Gragas is the tank version, right?
Gragas,
Because like you need to have something that has displacement, not just like how do you polymorph a Galio that's already like knocked out 5 people.
How do you
right?
polymorph a Camille that's already on your face?
Yeah, like the fight's set up from that. It's a good point.
And maybe something else that could change from the Lulu is maybe the exhaust, because you do want to just go even with the Lucian Nami lane coming out of bot, and maybe that exhaust can provide that extra bit of appeal when you have a, I believe it was 25 stack Galio on your Jinx's face.
Support Galio, by
A
the way.
lot of stacks, yeah.
That's a lot of
That's
stacks
a big Galio.
there.
I think he ended the game perfect. Like, that was an awesome game for Yuri.
Yeah, that was it, right? You know, the fact that I think Kitty, you were saying that we had to be looking to sort of towards that mid jungle, and both of them sort of played relatively outstanding today. BalKhan, those walls as well, creating a little bit of chaos, like decision making coming out of Order. There was a point where we did sit there and we watched Bio get walled off. He decided to try to save his flash, got a little bit too greedy with it, ended up costing him his life at one of those points where the game was still relatively close. And unfortunately from there, you know, that snowball started to turn a little bit, and it was just, you know, if you go back and watch the VOD, maybe you can clean up on a couple of those things. Either way, we've got a their MVP, and you guys watching the game, who do you think it is?
Has to be Yuri, right?
I'm going to say mid lane as well, surely.
Okay. Well, I think you're both on the money. I think we're on the same money as well. And Yuri definitely on the money there after that one. The Dare MVP is going to be him for today. This man is absolutely unstoppable in mid. When he locked in the Galio, I was thinking, oh, look, we might be in for a bit of a slower game, slower approach, not much going on. But this man, with those Prowler boots, he was just straight on into the action from the damn get-go, Kitty.
Galio being in the current meta, I'm a bit confused by the Xerath pick again. We've seen Xerath as a high prioritized mid laner coming into LCO Split 2 a second time, where I feel like, yes, it did do its job in the very, very late game, but compared to like Galio and Camille in these early skirmishes, you can't compete with that.
I am still adamant, and I don't know what the teams have been practicing or playing, but I'm adamant that Xerath is a counter pick, not a blind pick. And they saw a Taliyah, and I don't know if they just flatly assumed that it would be going mid, because like I've known BalKhan for a few years now. I know he would play it in a heartbeat. I think it defaulted the jungle with that team. So it is very weird to me that Xerath is just being picked blind every single game.
Very good, very good. Now, we have someone on the line, Kitty. I think it's someone you're pretty fond of as well. Big man from PGG down in that bot lane. We do have Praedyth on the line. Praedyth, how are you feeling after that W?
I was very confident going today, so I can expect a result. I want to say though, if any picks Lucian Nami, and then Kitty decides that she wants to pick Janna, I'm probably queuing up TFT the next game. So I just want to make that clear.
Wait.
I don't think you can pick Janna into Lucian Nami.
Come on. It's a good pick overall, not for laning. I didn't say it was good for laning.
Yeah,
but
maybe you can go to BioPanther.
you say that, but you had a utility Lucian game where you ended 2-2-8. So where do you have the confidence to tell me that you'll be queuing up for TFT?
Go off, Kitty.
Okay. You didn't see the last team fight or what? Because I'm pretty sure we 4v5 that, and I don't know.
Yeah, look, almost a penta. I'll give you that. Look, I saw it. I think Kitty was just focused on the scoreboard towards the end of that fight.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, didn't mean to hurt you there, Mark. But at the same time, buddy, old pal Mark, it's all right. Don't leave us.
I love you, Praedyth.
Anyway, that was a big W. So, look, that was definitely an expression from you guys and a bit of a statement up against Order. Now you've taken them down nice and early. I think the question would be for me is, can you do that up against the Chiefs? Because you got them up on the card tomorrow.
Well, I want to say, first of all, Taliyah made a tweet yesterday exposing my mid laner for running it down a little bit in a solo game. But I didn't see anyone making a montage of him the whole of last split and in my scrims this last week, running it down like relentlessly. the whole time when he's off the champion Vigar, the most easiest champ in the game to play, and Zillion. So I just want to say I think Yuri is going to completely demolish him tomorrow.
Oof. Well, let's see how that one evolves as we move towards tomorrow. But thank you. Enjoy this W, and it sounds like you're already prepared for that game tomorrow, Mark.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fighting words. Nice and early. What a spicy interview.
That is my favorite trash talk because it's more like a my dad will beat up your dad than it is your trash. Because it's like, yeah, Taliyah has been inting, but my dad is going to beat up your dad tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's acceptable trash talk. I'm a fan.
No, my dad owns League of Legends. I'm going to get you banned, and I'm going to get all of you in Twitch chat banned only for like a couple of minutes because it's time for another break. We've got a third game to jump on into, so we'll see you just after this for Kanga up against Direwolves.
Flank. Winter's going to go for the fight. He's after instant flash away there from Kisee. Winter might just fall on down as a result of this one. He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to go for the fight regardless. Down comes the entrance. In goes the Galio. He's got 25 stacks in this mid-eyes, and he just don't miss. Nor does their AD carry. It's an ace. It's a quadra kill. Praedyth.
Hey, look. Menu Pog.
It's like you got to value what you believe makes you good. And if the boys believe getting that extra bit of sleep makes them good, then that makes them good. Me, on the other hand, a glass of orange juice. Orange juice one shot, I'm done. I'm ready. It's placebo. Placebo effect. Plus, New Jerseys. New Jerseys, we're looking clean. Tell me I can lose when I look this
Very
good.
clean
I'm
indeed.
dapper without a suit.
Here exactly in response.
Lisa going, oh, that's a beautiful Dragon's Rage. A flashback across the wall. A preemptive dash from Guncrab's Time Kench. And in goes the Shurima Shuffle. Knocks back 2. It's a double, though, for Tien on the sideline. Play goes down. Not going to be found. Ren stack 1, looking for a double. I've seen Puma win these. He's going for Floppy. He gets a double kill. He will literally fight his way out of this Baron Pit. He does not seem to matter. In. Sapoon's going to answer back in a defensive position. Call of the Forge Gold goes out. He doesn't know where to hit it because it is all black in the sky. The lights are out. The fight is on. The kills are coming. It's a kill found so far here from Sapoon. The cannon barrage is in such an ideal position. Order can't do anything. It's a triple kill. It's an absolute disaster. Once again, nice and early. He's denied them. A one-man sleep, actually a two-man sleep. Instantly cleansed there from Dante as the fight does begin. And they jump in with Tyrant, looking to try and lead the line and slam dunk them home with a win here. Suman's jumped on through. He's got the R2 charge, but he's going to go golden once. And then as he comes out, slash through them all and take them down and say, that is an ace. Hits the trigger. Oh, a flash jump across the wall from Fury. An instant ult away. Nathan jumps in. It's a drive-by that literally did nothing. That is a disaster. And then Yuri comes across and says hello, but it's all Praedyth, who's got a triple kill. He's eventually been shut down here by Voice. The ultimate, they're going to answer back, both going into bird form and looking to try and take down those key targets. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far. There's going to be a double kill here found by Praedyth. He's looking to try and make it a triple kill. He wants them all. He's still alive, but they have found 4 members